It's our pleasure to welcome in Angels Hall of Famer Bobby Grich, one of the greatest second basemen of all time. Kind enough to join us here. I got to get your take on that last play. Nobody appealed, nothing. It looked like the ball, the foul tip hit the dirt.
Oh, it did. Yeah, it did. We're looking at the monitor here. It definitely hit the ground. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't come out and ask, demand the umpire at third base to make the call.
Yeah, I mean, you can see by Howie's reaction. He knew he foul tipped. He knew it went in the dirt. I mean,
Right.
You can almost see it from up here, but no appeals, so they're not going to be able to reverse that call.
That'd be an instant replay, right there, right?
Yeah, what do you think about that? What do you think? I mean, you're an old school baseball player. What do you think about that?
I'm old school baseball,
replay?
but I'm new school high tech, man. I mean, whatever. I love that instant replay on NFL. You know, it gets it right. I mean, just get it right. That's what you want, because there's nothing worse in the world to lose a ball game on a tough call, on an umpire's bad call, like the Angels, I think, lost the game against the Dodgers the other night. They played home plate. I mean, Mathis makes this incredible block, and Burgess makes a great throw, and then we get robbed of the game.
Corey Hunter tracks down the first out here. We were talking about that play on Sunday, and we'll take a look at it. Great throw by Peter Borges. I guess the question I got to ask you is, do you like instant replay in a limited fashion or all the way out?
I would say a limited fashion. You know, I would think it would have to be like, kind of like in NFL, they have a certain number of appeals a game. So the manager would have to, pick his spots when he knew that particular call was important enough to have an impact on the game. So I think that would have to be the manager's maybe like 2 a game or something like that. You wouldn't, that would be perfect, I think. Right there would be a great time for Soch to use one of his and turns the ball game around.
Yeah, do you think that would slow down the pace of the game? That's the thing everyone always worries about, especially with baseball. Football different, and obviously faster pace. And even to see sometimes even hockey, they have that same thing. Or even in basketball, certain points of the game, they can have a replay. But baseball itself, slow pace, it would be difficult to be able to keep it any kind of pace at all.
Well, I think if you initiated the instant replay, as opposed to now when the umpires, if they have an instant replay, they leave the field, they go back down the tunnel, and they have to look at a TV someplace. But if you were to initiate the instant replay, you'd have a television very accessible to them. They could go right over, take a quick look, make a call, boom, and get it done.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm a huge fan of as far as that concept is having a 5th umpire that is up here strictly with monitors, where you get that home feed, get the number of replays, and be able to make the call. Nobody leaves the field. It's on a buzzer or however you want to do it, walkie-talkie system, and all of a sudden you try to move it along as quickly as possible.
Victor, I am voting for you for Commissioner of Baseball. I think that's a great idea. I mean, I think you're in, buddy. That's a great call.
You think so? We'll have kegs throughout the stadium, too. So there's a lot of different things I would do as a Commissioner of Baseball.
Now
you don't want to open up Pandora's box, Bobby.
Now you have the fans vote.
How have you been otherwise?
Good.
You're obviously involved quite a bit in a lot of community initiatives.
Yeah. Still involved here with the Angels. Been on board since 2002, and of course, as soon as they hired me, they win the World Series for the first time. So I'm taking full credit for that.
As well you should.
As well I should. I went to spring training for the first time, and they win the World Series. But I had a lot of fun being a part of this organization the last 10 years in a kind of a different capacity. I go to spring training for a week, work with middle infielders a little bit, and I come back and get involved in the community, public relations, bring in some advertisers, kind of do a number of different things, a few appearances and whatnot. So it's perfect. It's great. I just love working with the organization, and as the ESPN magazine, I think it was, just voted the Angels the #1 baseball franchise in all of baseball. And it's great to be a part of that #1 franchise, as you guys well know, and that's just the way it is. It's wonderful out here.
Yeah, Bobby, you're obviously one of the best fielding second basemen in the game's history, but you got 2 pitchers here tonight, Pinheiro and Marquise, both guys that get a lot of ground ball outs. As a middle infielder, did you look forward to those type of games, guys that work quickly, get a lot of ground balls, and anticipate where to be?
I really did. It's really you're really into the game more with a guy who's going to be throwing sinkers and a control pitcher. And the thing I liked about playing behind a control pitcher is that, let's say the catcher is calling a slider away, and I know the hitter, and the hitter does go the other way. The right-hand hitter will say, and he's good at going the other way with a slider away, and I know that. But I can count on Joe Pinheiro throwing that ball on the outside, so I can really anticipate. As soon as he gets his hand up and lets go of the ball, as the ball is on its way, I can slide step to my left about 6 to 8 feet. I could cover another 8 to 10 feet to my left. Okay, so that, but they had to have control. If you couldn't count on them throwing the ball the other way, and all of a sudden you're cheating, the ball's hit the other way, you're burned. But if you could play behind a pitcher that had the control you could count on, you could really anticipate and really get big jumps.
Well, a 1-out walk to Ramos, and now a 2-strike base hit by Matt Stairs, and the Nats have runners At first and second with one out, Ian Desmond coming to the plate.
You know, on that question, Mark, the toughest guy to play behind was Nolan Ryan. You know, because he was 3-2, 3-2, 3-2, and either walked him or struck him out, or a pop-up, because, you know, his fastball was coming in kind of rising, right? He had very few ground balls. As a second baseman, you're out there just going, you know, how am I going to stay awake here?
He made you look good, in essence.
Well,
right?
No, you know, he just kind of put you to sleep. But, you know, and then invariably, the game would be like a 1-1 ball game in the 8th inning, and then all of a sudden you get a rocket hit at you that you're not really prepared for, and he loses the ball game 2-1. You know, I mean, he was a great pitcher, but he was tough to play behind as an infielder.
Obviously, you like to teach the game of baseball, and you were talking about the work that you do in spring training with infielders. Players today, are they as receptive as perhaps maybe as you were as a young man coming up and getting taught by the veteran players at that stage?
You know, it's a little bit tough. I'll tell you, Howie Kendrick has been, and since my tenure with the Angels, like I said, since 2002, Howie was in the minor leagues, and I worked with Howie when he was in AA ball, single A ball, and he was all eyes and all ears. So some are and some aren't.
Bobby, we appreciate it as always. Angels great Bobby Grich kind enough to join us. That first pitch, terrific job doing it. Always a pleasure. You're welcome
all the way,
anytime,
all the way home.
All the way home.
Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate it.
Lead at 1-0.